right, everybody. How's it going? How's it going? Glad you can make it. Welcome to the first module of the painting course, and I believe, if I'm correct, we're going to be painting Marilyn Monroe this painting course. What do you say? Yeah, let's give it up. Let's give it up. This is going to be fun. And with this first module, it's basically we're just going to go through the materials list. And it's a very small, compact materials list. You're not going to have to collect a lot of things. So let's just, without further ado, let's just get right to it. What do you say? So, we're going to first start out with, there's a lot of artists out there on YouTube, and I disagree with like most of them. And so they're gonna tell you to paint one way. What they tell you is what they tell you, but this is what we're gonna actually do, and it kind of goes against the grain of the conventional wisdom, so to speak. So you hear this all the time, all right? They say large canvases get attention. You gotta go big or go home. You hear that all the time. I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. We're going 12 by 12 inches. Okay, this is the size of an album. This is centimeters, but you get the idea. 30 centimeters or 12 by 12 inches. This is the size of the LP for anybody out there old enough to remember. And that was the size of a multi-trillion-dollar industry that lasted for over 100 years. So I think we're gonna go with that. All right. The next thing that you hear is, well, you need to draw the perfect image. You see this all the time on YouTube. I just can't get over it. You need to draw the perfect image on your canvas. Because if you can draw the perfect image, then you're going to make a perfect painting. Are you painting or are you drawing? Is this a coloring book or is this realistic painting? All right? Come on. Come on. So what we're doing, and now I have these lines stated quite well here. You don't want to make these lines this dark because it'll take forever to paint over. But you lightly state your lines with either pencil or with your brush, or I usually even use a chalk line sometimes. And what this does, it secures the perimeter. This is not drawing like a frame that you color into. This is not a coloring book. This is not cartooning. There's nothing wrong with cartooning. It's just that this is not what we're doing here. All right? So we're going to use a grid. We're going to secure the perimeter. It's more like an architectural approach than a coloring book approach. And then you hear comparative measuring. This business. All right? This business. Where are we? Here. This. I'm going to now look at the image, then I'm gonna go to the, yes, okay, use my thumb. The nose is about this big. Excuse me? Your arm's shaking. Okay, no, I'm not gonna breathe. Come on. Come on. Get out of here. Will you please? That's ridiculous. We're gonna, like we said before, we're gonna use a PowerPoint for the source image, which has grid lines and rollers already embedded in the software. Hello. And then plus on the canvas side, we're gonna be using our hook and go. Every house in America has been made with a tape measure, or either hook and go or you push and go. We're going to be hooking and going. Thank you very much. All right, and then next, you hear this all the time. Art, art was meant to be to provoke emotion, and the best art is the art that breaks the mold. Oh, give me your break. All right, you don't want to think about the emotional impact of an image unless you're thinking about the construction of the image and how the image is going to play in the eye and in the brain. All right, and so we're gonna not worry about the emotion or somebody sitting in the forest looking at the sky. Does that person in the forest looking at the sky, right? Does that person have a good contrast ratio? Is there a good contrast ratio to this person that's emoting? If there's a good contrast ratio, if there's a chiaroscuro, then go right ahead. But just a composition that supposedly that provokes emotion is not what we're trying to do. All right. Okay. So, now we've kind of sort of set up our psyche. Now we're gonna talk about the setup of our studio. Do we want to look like this? Or do we want to look like this? I think we want to look like this. Don't you think? Virtual Atelier, or I'm going to throw paint all over the floor and all over the walls Atelier. We're going to go with the Virtual Atelier, all right? And so let's talk about our materials list. We are going to keep it very small in terms of our brushes. We're just going to have it like this. We're going to have 3 of these, 3 of these, 3 of these, medium, about that size, and then 3 of these, right? So kind of like the size of your thumb, or the size of a finger, the size of a fingernail, and the size of like a hangnail. I don't know, a toenail, your little toenail. And then a flat brush. A flat brush we don't want any hard edges, all right? We want all our statements to have a little bit of leeway in them. So flat brush, and do you know where flat brush, do you know the origins of a flat brush? Well, a flat brush was from the era when you had round brushes and somebody stepped on a round brush and you got a flat brush. Thank you very much. Thank you. I know I'm a comedian. Okay, so what were we saying? Okay, where were we? All right, oil paints. Titanium white and ivory black. We're going black and white with Marilyn. If you're thinking that, if you like this course, if you're thinking we might be painting together, then go ahead. Throw some burnt umber and yellow or ochre in there. That's perfect for a sepia tone or a foundation for like a flesh tone. All right, solvent. We got to get back to the PowerPoint. So like we said, titanium white, ivory black, burnt umber, yellow ochre, and then white spirits, sans odeur. You don't want it with you don't want it stinking up the place. Next is canvas board. Like we've been saying, this is a canvas board. Hello, come in. And it's perfect. It's really easy to store, really easy to frame, durable, really easy to send. So canvas board, 12 inch by 12 inch, 30 centimeter by 30 centimeter. And then an easel, we'll talk about that in a bit. This is going to be just basically the biggest decision you're going to have to make. I'm going to need a stand-up easel because we've got a side size. We'll talk about that later. Or are we going to have a desktop easel? So your desktop, a standalone that stands next to your computer screen, or a desktop easel that sits next to your computer screen, sitter stand. And then you might need, some easels come with their own carrying case that's kind of included, or you might need to buy just a small little toolbox, whatever, a little box to keep all of your your tools, your brushes, and your paints and stuff. And then palette cups. Can you see? Got a little bit of white spirits in there. This is good to keep your solvents in. And then tape measure. You need your good old tape measure, of course. And this centimeters, but you get your, and you don't need a big one. You don't need a huge one. Just something small like this is just fine. And a ruler or straight edge, sure, to make your grid lines. Disposable or wood palette. This is what I like to do. I like to have a wood palette, and then I like to put cooking paper on the wood palette. And you have disposable palettes that have a sheets of paper that are similar to cooking paper, but they're more expensive. This is a very economical way to go. Secure it with some large paper clips like that. It's good to have those laying around. And then palette knives. I like to use this type, straight edge, straight away. This type of palette knife is very nice. This gets very dangerous. It gets very, very sharp after years of usage. So you got to be careful, because you're like, oh, I didn't want any cadmium red in the mix. And then where are we? Like we said, medium liquid. We don't use a lot of liquid, but it's good, like kind of at the end if you're doing hair and stuff like that. It's good to move that paint. Paper towels. I like to cut my paper towels up like this. All right. And large paper clips, like you saw. And so all you got to do is you just got to go like that. Click the hyperlinks. There's a couple on that page. And it brings you to something you can download, and then you can just bring to your guy at the art store and say, "Hey, buddy, just kind of hook me up." And all right, so that's that. I can close that out. And next on the agenda, so yep, there it is. There's your materials list right there. You can click that and get the same PDF. That's our virtual Atelier. Nice. We work nice and neat. That's a little bit of a misdirection play. I want to make this a really sort of clear. We don't want to be doing this, okay? Look, we want to be like this. We want to be sitting relaxed in a chair. We got some music playing, maybe even a nice little glass of Chardonnay, just nice and relaxed, right? We sit back in our chair and we squint like this, all right? We remove the light, and then it brings the shapes out, and then the same inches or centimeters, right, that we see here, when we go here, they're the same. It's called sight size. And so the bottom of the canvas is the bottom of the canvas. If you have a small screen, then you just bring up your source image in PowerPoint to where it's, and then work quadrant by quadrant, and we'll talk about that later. But you just want to be sight sized like this, like that. So there's your desktop Atelier sitting next to your computer. There's your desktop easel sitting next to your computer, and there's your standalone easel sitting next to your computer in the other photo there. So yes. Oops. No. All right. Oops. I don't have my. Excuse me. 1 second here. I don't have my my pen set up. You see, you got to remember all these things. All right, let's get back to the show. All right. So, the pen was important because I was about to explain more with this lovely, super professional a whiteboard tool that we have here. And so like this is your desk, right? And so there's your standalone easel. And so like pretend there's a drawer here and there. And so here's your fancy Apple computer, right? That you just love, that you just bought recently. This glorious machine. So there's your screen. And then there's your standalone easel. So you want your canvas just like that, or maybe in fact you're like, no, I kind of prefer my because this, is a little bit of setup involved. It's a small footprint, but depending on your office space, whereas the desktop easel, they're usually like this. And then you put your canvas on here, right? And so here's your canvas on top of your desktop easel, and then that just folds up, and you can just put that right there, right? So you work, you paint, you paint, you paint. Honey, it's time to eat. Okay, 1 second, right? Put your brushes in a plastic bag if you're gonna come back, the next day, so you don't have to do a lot of cleaning. And then you just fold that guy up and put it over to the side. So it's up to you, and you're going to have to, it's part of the fun of this course, because you're going to have to sort of, I have like a lot of, all of these easels except for one. I have this one, this one, this one. I don't have this one though, man. This one looks totally cool. Oops. Oops. I'm sorry. Yes, I don't have this one. The Italian steel easel. We'll put it right there. It's no problem. So maybe that's the next one. And so, it's a good sort of interesting journey to see how you incorporate your art life into your just this other regular life that you've known. How to incorporate the virtual atelier into your real world. So that's going to be the fun part. And then for the PowerPoint, where you're going to have the source image, right, that you're going to paint from, I like to use LibreOffice. All right, so we just click right there, and then that'll take us. Is that going to take us somewhere? It should take us somewhere. And LibreOffice is free. It's powerful, and the best thing is it's not Microsoft. Okay, there we go. So. Download now. Fantastic people, a fun project, open source, yeah, freedom. All right, so there you go. That's basically it. Next, we'll discover the science of appearances, and we'll explore more why we do what we do. We'll learn to prepare the image using Google Photos to get the best impact. So this is the 5 modules we just went through. Setup. Next is prepare, enter, location, 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 and then let go. SPELL. You're going to put your friends, your family, and your fans under your spell. I promise. Alrighty. Well, I think we have made a successful presentation here with my crazy setup. What did you think? Did you like it? I hope so. All right. Thank you so much for coming by. Let's listen to some music. And so look forward to seeing you on the next module, the prepare module. All right, thanks for stopping by. I'll hopefully see you soon. Take care. Au revoir.